CAF set out to decide on WAFCON 2026, AFCON 2027 in Tanzania. Emmanuel, I think for me, I don't know what CAF are trying to do, but the most important thing is just that African football, needs a proper calendar. It does not make any sense, every day at every year, almost every event, you get to struggle, it's going to also, it's going to do this, and at the end of the day, you see tournaments suffer postponement and all of that. The most important thing is finding the right, stable calendar for African football.
Yeah, I think the first thing is the fact that for the Women African Cup of Nations 2026, it suffered a setback, and that's owing to the fact that Morocco decided that they would not be hosting the event any longer, maybe due to what happened at the AFCON just recently concluded, and now we found ourselves in a very, very dicey situation, though South Africa has said that they are ready to step in and salvage the situation. So meaning that CAF at the end of their meeting today are likely to come out with a decision concerning what will happen. Would they be ceding the hosting rights to South Africa? Would the dates still remain the same? South Africa said that they have everything possible needed to host this event. So it's now left for the official confirmation from CAF to say to the entire continent that now Morocco would no longer be hosting the tournament. But I also understand that there's been a lot of talks with Morocco, South Africa, and of course with the larger body CAF concerning the fate of the tournament. It's supposed to hold at March 17 this year to April 3rd, if I'm correct. But now what we all are waiting for is a final decision on if South Africa will now be stepping in as the next host for the 2026 edition. So it's not just about the calendar, it's about the host itself. I think the same thing also applies to AFCON 2027, where 3 countries are supposed to host this tournament, but CAF, they were scheduled to have, they're scheduled to inspect all of the stadiums that are supposed to be used, check the readiness of each of those countries and their facilities, and I'm sure it looks like the readiness is not there yet. So there is a possibility of moving it a bit forward to next year. And sometimes you have to, a lot of people now will definitely begin to get the true picture on why people actually support, AFCON being moved to every four years. It's difficult now to have, a tournament in 2026, and you know that the tournament that was that we had in 2026 was supposed to be for 2025, but it ran into 2026. Then less than 12 months, you're going to have another one in 2027. There's another tournament in 2028. But it's just a matter of our football. It's a matter of our football development. Euros also hold every 2 years, not 4 years.
No, Euros hold every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
But you have the Copa America every 2 years.
So it depends on if the continent feels, the governing body feels that we have what it takes. That's why we are seeing a better ability on Morocco.
And that's why I think, for me, probably the 4 years, stuff is okay. Because if you look at the state of infrastructures, football infrastructure in Africa, it's difficult to have this tournament in 4 years. Apart from Morocco and maybe South Africa, then Egypt and apart from the North Africans, except Libya and Sudan, but I think from Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Algeria, maybe then South Africa, these are the only 5 countries that I believe, credit to Cote d'Ivoire as well. But we don't know the states, of the state they are now. The problem with West African countries is maintaining, culture, maintenance culture, rather. So if you take away these probably 5 or 7 nations, I don't think the rest, has what it takes to actually come to the party. So that's why it is giving CAF a whole lot of headaches, and if care is not taken, we are always going to run to Morocco. And with what we have actually seen in the last couple of years with Morocco hosting tournament and the desperation to win, I don't think it's healthy for African football. That's why I think every 4 years, but we just have to solve. CAF just have to solve the problem, that at hand now before looking at the possibility of having that for 4 years.
It's interesting that we found ourselves in that position, owing to the fact that at every point in time, Morocco has bailed CAF out. So we really didn't see that we really had a bigger picture problem.
But Emmanuel, another point, I don't think 2026 WAFCON should be an issue as far as I'm concerned. You have given the hosting right to Morocco. Why dilly-dally? Let them have the tournament.
No, Morocco is saying that they don't want to.
Obviously, we know why. Obviously,
but you can't force them to host it.
I know, obviously, but they cannot just pull out on the hip of the tournament. No, they are being sore losers.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, they are being the rest of Africa does not have to soak up to them.
And that's where South Africa is coming from. That no, we cannot all just be at your mercy.
Absolutely.
At every point in time.
Absolutely.
We have watched CAF bring the the yearly awards to your domain. We have seen is it the Under-17 tournament that was seeded to them for 4 consecutive editions. We've seen the AFCON, we've seen the African Cup of Nations at your doorstep. So basically, we might not be entirely comfortable with it, but owing to the fact that you have magnificent facilities and nobody can dispute it. South Africa also does have, we've seen the quality that we see of the PSL, so they also have some of those facilities that can host. But at this point in time, we know that Morocco has the best when it comes to the African continent. Maybe the likes of Egypt, because Cameroon also hosted not too long ago. Cameroon also hosted, and if we have the right mind.
The issue is not just you having the stadium available. The logistics, the millions of dollars that you have to put in, to get in the organization.
And many governments are not ready to do that.
They are not ready because they have a whole lot of economic challenges, to battle with, to contend with. Then adding football to it, it's another problem entirely. But the most important thing is, I think Morocco just have to understand that, yes, they have good facilities. In fact, world-class facilities. Those facilities were built, to host World Cup, and we know what it has done, to the image of African football. Obviously elevated, African football and all of that. We thank them for it, but the fact is, they also have to understand that they also need the AFCON to sell their facilities, to the world, and also to tell the rest of the world.
They need this major tournament.
They also need this major tournament, and their conduct during this major tournament was not good enough. If you ask me, the conduct were not just good enough. They also showed, desperation to win. Sometimes they also showed that they cannot be trusted, with hosting some tournament, and they don't. For me, they haven't shown enough spirit of sportsmanship. So their conduct for me,
they believe that they've spent a whole lot. We just talked about nations who do not stay.
So what do you think? So what do you think the likes of?
I think the incident that happened in the finals broke their camp. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just saying that they have also seen themselves invest themselves into most of these facilities, into hosting all of these events, and at some point both the government and the citizens of Morocco became very desperate to actually win the African Cup of Nations, and that did not happen. So hopefully Africa gets its act right, and we are able to move on from there.
Before we go on to this, but the most important thing is, if Morocco are feeling that they deserve to win for hosting, I wonder what the likes of Saudi Arabia and Qatar should do, because I don't think Saudi Arabia will win the World Cup.
Saudi Arabia and Qatar did not get to the is it the semi-final of the World Cup?
Yes,